All around the world, agriculture is stepping into a whole new era. Huge fields no longer rely just on human labor. They're run by massive machines. Every step is guided by precise technology, bringing in millions of tons of top-quality produce from Mother Earth every year. Modern farming has become a global industry, achieving efficiency far beyond anything we've seen before. Keep your eyes open. You're about to witness the power of mechanization, where steel and human ingenuity come together to shape the future of farming. With a wingspan of up to 40 meters and the ability to spray thousands of fine, mist-like water jets, the boom irrigation system before you is a trusted helper for Dutch farmers caring for vast tulip fields stretching over thousands of hectares. Its operation is impressively clever. The boom is extended to the area that needs watering, directly connected to water channels and a pressurized pumping system. Hundreds of tiny nozzles along with steel arms release water in unison, creating an artificial rain that blankets every row of flowers. Thanks to its even spray and ultra-fine droplets, this system can save up to 40% of water compared to traditional methods, helping the tulips grow uniformly while keeping their vibrant colors intact. But to keep the tulips not just beautiful, but healthy, farmers rely on another shield. A self-propelled spraying machine with a tank holding up to 6,000 liters. The wingspan is still impressive, stretching wide across the field, but this time its mission has changed. Hundreds of nozzles release a fine mist, covering every petal and leaf, forming an invisible barrier against pests and mold. In just 1 hour, the machine can treat 15 to 20 hectares, dozens of times more efficient than manual labor, saving chemicals, reducing pollution, and ensuring every tulip reaches absolute perfection. But no matter how stunning the flowers are, they still need to be removed, because the real value Dutch farmers aim for lies underground, the tulip bulbs. Only by removing the blooms can the nutrients be fully directed to grow big, strong bulbs that meet export standards. The tulip cutting machine, or Tulip Topper, is designed compactly to fit neatly between rows for easy movement. At the front, specially shaped rotating blades cut only the flower heads, leaving stems and leaves intact to continue photosynthesis and nourish the bulbs. Thanks to this precision, hundreds of hectares of flowers are processed quickly and accurately, laying the foundation for the multi-billion-dollar tulip bulb industry each year. Unlike tulips, which are harvested with just a gentle cut at the bloom, lavender enters its season with massive machines, a clear sign of its importance, as it supplies up to 70% of the raw material for the global perfume industry. The cutter-gatherer works with rotating disc blades that slice close to the rows, then clamp and lift the purple stems onto a conveyor, compressing them into large bundles neatly dropped into a storage compartment. This method preserves the whole stems, producing pure essential oils, perfect for high-end perfumes or handcrafted dried bouquets. The trade-off, however, is a slower pace and the need for more handling afterward. On the other hand, modified Class Jaguar harvesters are built for speed. Their cutting blades and chain system continuously chop, shred, and suction the lavender, blasting the fragments directly into a truck driving alongside. This approach can clear hundreds of hectares within just a few days, saving on labor and costs, though the oil quality is slightly lower and usually destined for large-scale industrial use. Whichever technology is chosen, the goal remains the same: to transform the endless purple fields of Provence into the fragrant heart that sustains the world's perfume industry. The Moldboard Plow, the true season opener of every harvest, stands out with its ability to turn the very skin of the earth in a single pass, awakening the life hidden deep underground. Heavy-duty tractors boasting pulling power of 250 to 400 horsepower tow behind them a set of perfectly curved plow blades. Crafted from ultra-durable steel with smooth flowing surfaces, these exceptional blades can slice, lift, and flip soil 180 degrees in just one motion. Thanks to their precise angles and polished finish, the soil doesn't shatter chaotically, but instead folds neatly into even strips, burying weeds, pathogens, and crop residues while bringing the fertile lower layers up to the surface. A modern moldboard plow on today's market ranges from $15,000 to $40,000, depending on its size and number of blades, excluding the tractor itself. It's a major investment, but one that pays off with unmatched efficiency across large-scale farmlands. On the vast fields of Idaho, the potato capital of the United States, Grimme potato planters have replaced manual labor with a 5-step process completed in a single pass, cutting down planting time, saving up to 70% in costs, and bringing agriculture to true industrial standards. At the front, tillers and furrow openers break up the soil, carving out perfectly straight rows. As the earth is turned, flocks of birds swoop down, snatching up the worms and insects that appear, turning the entire field into a lively feast where nature and machinery move in harmony. Immediately after, ridge formers shape the soil into uniform beds with precise dimensions. Behind them, massive seed hoppers feed tons of seed potatoes onto conveyors, dropping them through chutes at exactly the right spacing and depth. Just seconds later, covering discs close the soil to lock in moisture, while integrated fertilizing and spraying systems add nutrients and protect the crop from pests right from the start. Thanks to these steel giants, planting thousands of hectares, once a job that took weeks, can now be done in just a few days. Though the initial investment is significant, the efficiency they deliver makes them a golden asset for any industrial-scale farm. The impressive cup conveyor system is the true backbone of modern cauliflower harvesting. Once the heads are neatly cut at the base, workers carefully place them into bright yellow plastic cups, moving steadily across the field. Each cup acts like a personal, protective shield, cradling the cauliflower securely without bruising or scratching. Together, they flow in a seamless stream toward a central truck, where the cauliflowers are transferred straight onto the loading platform, ready for sorting and packaging. It's essentially a mobile production line in the middle of the field, fast, efficient, and standardized. But the pinnacle of technology lies in the autonomous robotic harvesting system for broccoli. These aren't just machines, they are intelligent arms working in perfect synchronization. Each robotic arm is equipped with a soft silicone gripper that holds the broccoli firmly without crushing it. Right at the gripping point, a high-pressure mist nozzle releases a burst of cold vapor, instantly chilling the freshly cut head to extend freshness and suppress bacterial growth. Then, with the help of an integrated vacuum lift, the broccoli is gently raised and either placed onto a conveyor or dropped directly into a storage bin. Though not yet widely adopted, and costing several times more than traditional systems, robotic technology is still seen as the inevitable future of smart farming, where productivity, quality, and sustainability converge in every field. Soaring across vast fields like the sky nights of the digital age, spraying drones are rewriting the standards of modern agriculture. Their impressive operation begins with GPS and digital mapping, allowing them to follow precise flight paths without missing even the smallest corner of a field. High-pressure nozzles combined with smart sensors distribute liquid according to crop density, cutting pesticide use by up to 50% while safeguarding maximum yields. With multi-directional radar and obstacle avoidance sensors, drones fly safely and steadily, even over terraced farms or rugged landscapes where traditional tractors simply can't reach. But spraying is just the beginning. These drones can also sow seeds, spread fertilizer, or even dispense granular pesticides, transforming into true multitasking machines in the sky. Faster, safer, and more precise, they're no longer just a supporting tool, but a symbol of smart farming, where technology quite literally takes flight alongside the harvest. On the vast dairy and beef cattle farms of the US and Australia, hay gathering is no longer the work of human hands, but of true steel rakers, the wheel rake. With star-shaped wheels bristling with slender steel tines, they spin freely with ground friction, sweeping scattered hay into long, uniform windrows in a single pass. Each synchronized turn creates a powerful mechanical rhythm, transforming the chaotic aftermath of harvest into neat rows ready for baling and storage. Without the need for complex hydraulics or sophisticated electronics, the wheel rake wins farmers over with its simplicity, durability, and remarkable speed. With low upfront costs, yet the ability to cover dozens of hectares in just a few hours, it stands as the unsung hero of industrial hayfields. The giant John Deere spindle picker C770 stands as the ultimate symbol of America's cotton mechanization era, bringing in millions of tons of cotton each season from September to October. At its front, a spindle system armed with thousands of high-speed steel needles spins relentlessly, twisting each boll from its husk with near-perfect precision, while stripping away leaves and impurities. But what truly sets the C770 as a global benchmark is its integrated module builder. Instead of transporting harvested cotton to a separate gin press, the machine compresses it instantly in the field into massive round modules weighing 2-3 tons, wrapped in moisture-resistant film, and neatly dropped on the spot. This leap transforms the C770 from a mere harvester into a mobile harvest baling storage line, streamlining the entire post-harvest chain, cutting labor costs, and preserving fiber quality at its peak. Behind the millions of tons of bright red tomatoes harvested each year, it's no longer the bending backs of workers picking basket by basket, but the rise of tomato-pulling machines, the true path clearers of modern farming. With powerful steel arms, they gently lift entire plants from the soil, lining them up neatly in rows to await the next stage of harvest. Instead of dozens of workers uprooting by hand, now a single machine can sweep across the entire field in a matter of moments. But that is only the beginning. Right behind them come the steel giants that transform the open field into a massive outdoor factory. As they move through the rows, the front-end shakers yank whole tomato plants from the earth and feed them onto a moving conveyor. There, a series of vibrating sieves shake relentlessly, stripping ripe fruit from stems, leaves, and soil, leaving only a flowing stream of crimson tomatoes. The true breakthrough lies in flawless synchronization. Once cleaned by high-powered fans, each fruit glides down the belt and is instantly handed over to a truck driving alongside. No stoppage, no manual hauling. Harvesting, sorting, cleaning, and loading all unfold in one seamless motion. With just a single machine, dozens of hectares can be processed daily, yielding hundreds of tons of fruit, compressing weeks of back-breaking labor into only a few days. This is how industrial agriculture turns a tomato harvest into a breathtaking performance of speed, power, and precision. Our first stop takes us to California, the largest vegetable basket in the United States, where vast fields of red cabbage are entering peak season. These gigantic harvesters are the driving force behind hundreds of thousands of tons of cabbage each year. With a specially designed clamping head, the machines gently lift each cabbage from the soil and place it directly onto a conveyor belt. There, rollers and vibrating screens remove excess soil and old leaves, leaving only firm, uniform heads. Immediately afterward, the cabbages are transferred to the main conveyor and dropped straight into large wooden crates or accompanying trucks, ready to leave the field. With a capacity of 5 to 7 tons per hour, many times greater than manual labor, these steel giants help farmers save time, cut costs, and ensure that massive volumes of red cabbage reach the market in time during the short harvest season. In September, the vast potato fields of Idaho, the potato capital of the United States, turn into battlefields for giant harvesting machines. As these steel beasts move into the fields, their digging blades and steel lifting wheels gently cut through the soil ridges, raising entire potato plants without bruising the tubers. Next, a system of vibrating conveyors and rollers continuously sift and separate soil, stones, and foliage, leaving only clean, intact potatoes. The selected tubers are then transferred onto the main conveyor and dropped directly into accompanying trucks, ready to be transported to cold storage. To own one of the latest potato harvesters, farmers must invest between $250,000 and $500,000. Hefty price, but one that pays off with superior productivity of 15 to 30 tons per hour, reduced labor costs, and consistent harvest quality on an industrial scale. But before millions of tons of potatoes can be harvested, the true groundbreaker of modern agriculture, the heavy disc harrow, plays its indispensable role in preparing the soil. When pulled by a high-horsepower tractor, dozens of massive steel discs arranged in offset rows begin to spin, tilling the entire surface of the field. With each rotation, they not only chop up straw and weeds, but also break through the hardened soil beneath, mixing crop residues into the earth to enhance its natural fertility. Behind them, a heavy roller smooths the surface, transforming dry, compacted ground into a loose, level, and nutrient-rich layer, perfect for planting or for the next stage of mechanized farming. With working widths spanning dozens of meters and a processing speed many times faster than traditional methods, the heavy disc harrow is seen as the silent pathfinder, whose role ultimately determines the success of an entire harvest. Across the vast peat fields of Finland and northern Europe during the damp rainy season, the screw trencher appears as agriculture's silent drainage worker. Its massive auger drills deep into the soil, flinging wet earth to both sides and carving straight trenches in a single pass, keeping fields dry, loose, and protecting root crops prone to rot, such as potatoes, carrots, and sugar beets. With the ability to cut several kilometers of trenches each day, this machine has transformed waterlogged land into fertile fields, paving the way for bountiful harvests. The modern turf rolling machine is the true craftsman behind the lush green rolls of grass used for football fields, golf courses, and urban landscapes. Its sharp cutting blades slice through the turf along with a thin layer of soil, while a conveyor immediately feeds it into the rolling unit, where rotating shafts neatly wind it into tight, carpet-like rolls. In the past, this task required dozens of workers, but today a single machine can handle several hectares in a short time, making it an indispensable tool in the industrial turf industry across the United States, Europe, and Australia. Back in the vineyards stretching across Bordeaux, Tuscany, and California's Napa Valley, modern grape harvesters are setting their signature rhythm into motion. Instead of dozens of workers stooping to cut each cluster by hand, these towering machines envelop entire rows of vines and activate their flexible shaking rods. Each precise vibration causes ripe grape bunches to drop all at once, while the branches remain intact, minimizing damage. Immediately afterward, gentle conveyors catch the fallen grapes and carry them through powerful fans that remove excess leaves and dust, leaving only plump, juicy fruit. With just a single pass, entire rows spanning tens of meters are neatly harvested, many times faster than manual labor. Finally, the grapes are emptied into specialized trucks, ready to head straight to the winery for their journey toward becoming fine wines enjoyed on tables around the world. The Oxbow citrus harvester is currently the leading choice on the market, especially in Florida's high-density orange groves, which supply over 70% of the nation's oranges. Unlike older models that relied on trunk-shaking mechanisms, the Oxbow operates with a modern drive-through system. The machine moves between two rows of trees, where rotating spiral shafts on both sides brush vigorously against the canopy, causing ripe oranges to fall en masse. Immediately, collection pans and conveyors beneath catch all the fruit, then channel them through strong airflows to remove leaves and twigs. The selected oranges are transferred directly into large onboard bins or unloaded straight into accompanying trucks. This season, the lush spinach fields are entering peak harvest. While it might seem that such delicate leafy greens could only be hand-picked to avoid damage, specialized machines have proven otherwise. Before you is a massive spinach harvester gliding smoothly across the rows. Its rotary cutting blades operate just a few centimeters above the ground, swiftly trimming entire mats of spinach in an instant. Immediately afterward, a suction system and rear holding bin collect the tender leaves, arranging them into neat layers before unloading directly into trucks running alongside the field. In some advanced models, mesh bins equipped with light compression mechanisms press the spinach into compact square blocks, saving transport space while helping the leaves retain their crisp freshness throughout the journey to processing plants or cold storage. Despite variations in design, all share the same advantage: reducing harvest time to just a few hours for fields spanning dozens of hectares, dramatically cutting labor costs, and most importantly, preserving the tender, clean spinach leaves that are ready to supply the global market. On the brittle, sun-baked soils of California, giant onion harvesters roar into action, turning parched golden fields into open-air production lines. At first glance, these machines resemble potato harvesters, with blades that lift the bulbs from the earth. But unlike potatoes, the onions are neatly laid out in long rows behind the machine, left to cure directly in the field for 7 to 14 days. Once their papery skins have dried to the ideal 80 to 90%, specialized trucks equipped with conveyors sweep in to gather them, transporting the crop to colossal storage facilities. These state-of-the-art warehouses, fitted with advanced ventilation and humidity controls, can hold tens of thousands of tons from a single harvest. Thanks to these steel warriors, a once backbreaking task has been transformed into a breathtaking display of mechanical precision, delivering onions straight from the soil to the global supply chain. Lettuce harvesters are engineered to handle massive volumes while preserving the crisp freshness of every head. At the front, a row of cutting blades sweeps across the field, slicing each plant just a few centimeters above the ground with pinpoint precision. Immediately, soft rubber conveyors lift the lettuce onto the line, where fans and rollers strip away soil, grit, and outer leaves. The cleaned heads then move to an onboard sorting station, where workers quickly inspect, grade, and place them directly into crates, ensuring that the lettuce travels from field to box in a single seamless motion. The latest generation of almond harvesters introduces a striking U-shaped design, large enough to encircle an entire tree in a single pass. Perfectly suited for California's neatly planted orchards with uniform canopies, this machine glides down the rows, shaking the tree while its internal catching frames collect the falling almonds. From there, conveyors move the nuts either into tidy windrows or directly into onboard storage. The result: harvests completed many times faster than handpicking, with minimal nut loss. Another widely used method across California relies on powerful tree shakers. These machines clamp tightly around the trunk and deliver intense vibrations, triggering a dramatic rainfall of almonds within seconds. Once the ground is carpeted with nuts, sweepers gather them into rows, and pickup machines follow to clean and separate debris. Some of the latest models even integrate hoppers or mobile conveyors, allowing them to shake and collect at the same time, streamlining the process and maximizing efficiency. Every year, more than 40 million tons of carrots are harvested worldwide to meet the massive demand for this nutrient-rich crop. Instead of relying on labor-intensive hand-pulling, modern carrot harvesters can uproot, clean, and collect carrots in a single pass. The process begins with non-slip rubber clamps that grip the leafy tops and pull the carrots smoothly from the soil. Immediately, a set of high-speed circular blades slices off the greens, sending the tops onto a side conveyor to be dropped back into the field. Meanwhile, the carrots travel across spiked cleaning belts that shake off soil and fine roots. Finally, a long main conveyor, stretching up to 5 to 8 meters, delivers the cleaned carrots directly into the bins of a parallel trailer, ensuring a gentle drop that minimizes breakage. With this system, a single machine can harvest 60 to 80 tons of carrots per hour, 20 to 30 times faster than manual labor, while keeping crop damage to an absolute minimum. This colossal fleet is the driving force behind nearly 300 million tons of sugar beets harvested each year. Across vast fields spanning thousands of hectares in Europe and the US, giants like Ropa, Homer, and Vervaet, towering 4 meters high and stretching over 15 meters long, work like mobile factories right in the middle of the farmland. As the machine advances, high-speed front-mounted knives shear off the leafy tops. Immediately after, disc wheels or lifting rollers dive into the soil, gently raising the bulky roots from the heavy earth. The beets then ride up vibrating conveyors and rotating rollers that shake off soil, stones, and excess roots. From there, the cleaned beets flow through multiple conveyor stages before filling an onboard tank with a massive capacity of 30 to 40 tons. Thanks to this system, a single harvester can clear more than a hectare in under 30 minutes, hundreds of tons in a single day, far beyond human labor, making these machines the backbone of the modern sugar industry. Once full, The harvester's long unloading conveyor transfers the crop into waiting trucks or onto massive field-side piles, ready for transport to the sugar mills. Have you ever noticed that the United Nations logo is encircled by two olive branches, a timeless symbol of peace and hope? Yet beyond that sacred meaning, on the global marketplace, olives ignite a fierce competition worth as much as $14 billion. Spain dominates production like a giant, while Italy, Greece, Turkey, and even North Africa strive to carve out their own marks, from specialty varieties and processing techniques to bold export strategies. So, what makes olives such a coveted treasure, relentlessly pursued by the world? What sets them apart from so many other fruits lies in their wealth of heart-protective healthy fats, combined with vitamin E's powerful antioxidant effects, and a range of minerals that fight inflammation and slow down aging. But the price of producing this high-quality nutrition is far from small. To make just 1 liter of olive oil requires up to 4,000 liters of water, a water footprint equivalent to brewing 20,000 cups of coffee. And to truly grasp this paradoxical journey, let us follow from the silvery groves to the harvest itself, where the secrets of olives first begin to unfold. Each year, the olive harvest stretches from early autumn to late winter, when the fruits ripen, glossy and full of oil and nutrients. No grower dares to miss this golden moment. But to turn that season of abundance into reality, human hands alone are not enough. In super high-density olive orchards, the only viable alternative to the impossible task of hand-picking is the massive straddle harvester, a machine designed like a moving tunnel that engulfs entire rows of trees. With its gripping and shaking system, the machine sweeps along the row, shaking olives down in torrents. The fruits drop into catch trays, then move straight onto conveyor belts. Leaves and twigs are sucked up and filtered out inside the machine, leaving only clean olives ready to be funneled into accompanying storage bins. Thanks to this process, entire rows can be harvested clean in just minutes. Dozens of times faster than hand-picking, while reducing the risk of fruit touching the ground by up to 95%, thus preserving quality. However, to use this machine, olive trees must be planted in perfectly straight, orderly rows. So what about smaller olive groves, just a few dozen hectares in size? The main solution is the tree shaker. This machine works quite simply. A hydraulic arm grips the tree trunk tightly and shakes it vigorously, causing the olives to fall all at once. Below, large nets are spread out to catch the fruits, which farmers then gather up. This method is well suited for older olive groves, where trees are spaced nearly 10 meters apart, with straight trunks, strong roots, and a large enough diameter for a firm grip. However, the ground also needs to be relatively flat for the machine to operate efficiently. A single tree that would take 4 or 5 people nearly an hour to pick by hand can now be harvested in less than a minute. Still, the intense shaking can cause leaves to fall, young branches to snap, and in the long run, may weaken the tree. For this reason, many orchards opt for a combination, using hand poles to select fruits at the perfect ripeness while keeping the trees healthy, and at the same time relying on machines to speed up the harvest. Yet whether by human hands or by machines, the key to survival after harvest is speed. Olives must be taken to the mill immediately, because just a few hours' delay triggers oxidation. Aromas begin to fade, bitterness rises, and quality quickly declines. When crates of olives arrive, forklifts receive them and carefully pour them into the intake hopper. Here, dry leaves and twigs are removed in the first step. Only those that pass the test continue along the conveyor belt, beginning a more thorough cleaning process. At the other end, a chilled, bubbling tank awaits the olives. The swirling water washes away soil and dust clinging to their skins. Then a row of overhead sprayers rains down like a gentle shower, leaving each fruit plump, fresh, and gleaming, fully prepared for its transformation before reaching the consumer. Olives are naturally sharp and bitter, so to make them edible, people rely on salt and fermentation. That is why the very first step is always traditional debitoring. Immediately afterward, the fruits are placed into giant brine tanks, where they rest for 3 to 4 months to undergo natural fermentation. During this time, lactic acid bacteria quietly mellow the harsh flavor, while adding a subtle tanginess and the signature crunch, the foundation for every stage of processing that follows. Once fermentation is complete, the olives are heat-treated to stabilize their texture and flavor before moving on to size grading. This step not only eliminates cracked, damaged, or low-quality fruits, but also ensures perfect uniformity for stuffing and packaging. Such consistency not only enhances the product's visual appeal when it reaches consumers, but also preserves its high commercial value on the market. On modern production lines, olive pits are removed and replaced with flavorful fillings such as chili, almonds, lemon, or rich pâté. Immediately after, the fruits pass through a washing system and a densimeter to remove any remaining pit fragments and broken olives. This washing stage not only cleans the product but also balances salinity and softens the sharp acidity, ensuring the uniform taste required before packaging. They are then moved to the final stage, packaging. The fruits are arranged in glass jars or metal cans, where filling machines precisely adjust the volume, adding brine and seasonings tailored to each market's preference. The US tends to favor larger cans with bold flavors. Japan prefers smaller jars with milder tastes, while Europe remains loyal to its traditional style. Finally, the products are vacuum sealed, sterilized on-site, and stacked on pallets, ready to embark on journeys that carry them across the globe. To turn olives into oil, the first step is crushing. Inside a sealed chamber, a rotating shaft with steel hammers smashes the flesh, skin, and pits. If the pits crack just right, they add flavor and texture. Too much, and the oil turns harshly bitter. In just half an hour, 5 tons of olives become a thick paste, a blend of oil, water, and solids. But this paste can't be pressed yet. It must go through malaxation, a slow mixing process lasting 20 to 40 minutes at a warm temperature. This allows tiny droplets of oil to merge into larger ones, ready for separation, while natural enzymes weave notes of grass, apple, pepper, and almond. Many describe this as the olive's meditative state before they transform in the next stage of extraction. Inside the state-of-the-art decanter, a screw conveyor turns slowly but firmly, pressing and pushing the olive paste into a high-speed spin. Thanks to centrifugal force, the oil, being lighter, separates completely from the water and solid pulp. From here, the first streams of raw olive oil begin to flow. But don't mistake it for shimmering golden right away. Freshly extracted, the oil is often emerald green, slightly cloudy, and only later turns clear and golden after filtering. At this stage, some producers filter further to remove fine particles, achieving a crystal clear hue. Others prefer to leave a touch of rustic character for a richer flavor. Either way, the end result is the same: luscious drops of liquid essence, the distilled reward of a painstaking journey. In the final stage, each glass bottle is filled with silky oil, capped tightly as it spins through sealing machines, then glides past labeling lines and inspection lights. A quick heat seal sterilization closes the process before sturdy cartons are packed and sealed. From there, the purest bottles of olive oil are ready to travel into supermarkets, restaurants, and kitchens across the globe, completing the journey from bitter fruit on the branch to the flavor inseparable from Mediterranean cuisine. But not every olive ends up that way. Guess what happens if the paste, instead of going to oil extraction, is cooked with caustic soda and water? This is the crucial difference between making oil and making soap. It's not just boiling oil. The saponification reaction is set in motion. Under high heat, fat bonds break apart, then reform into soap. For 3 days, the mixture must be stirred constantly to prevent scorching, with the temperature kept steady so the reaction won't be interrupted. There's also a small but vital trick. Sprinkle dry soap powder on the floor beforehand, so when the vat is drained, the hot solid mass won't stick to the cement. At first, the mixture is thin and pale, then it thickens, darkens to deep green, and turns viscous like boiling honey. That's the moment the oil has died, reborn as soft, pure soap, ready for the next stage. When cooking is done, thick streams of hot, steaming soap spill out, spreading into a glossy green carpet about 6 centimeters thick across the floor. It is then leveled with simple tools to create a smooth surface. The task may look easy, but it's not. Too much force and the soap shifts, too little and the surface ripples. Only experienced hands can find the just right balance. The soap block continues to radiate warmth like an ember, slowly cooling and hardening day by day into a green stone slab. Temperature and humidity in the workshop must be perfectly balanced, or the whole batch risks cracking or turning sticky. Marking and stamping come next, the decisive step that transforms the raw block into a finished product, both perfectly shaped and branded. Before dividing it, workers dust the surface with fine powder to prevent sticking, then stretch dyed cords across it in 7 by 7 centimeter squares, like laying out a giant chessboard. Once the grid is set, cutting begins, the final step that turns the massive slab into neat little bars ready for use. Workers operate a rake-like cutting frame, long and heavy, strung with taut wires. They don't just use their arms, they lean in with their whole bodies, pressing down to slice through the dense 6 centimeter thick soap. Each pull marks a sharp boundary, splitting the broad slab into even rows of perfect squares. And from there, each rustic block of soap takes on the form of a finished product. After cutting and stamping, the soap bars can't be packed right away. They must go through a long resting stage. Workers stack them into hollow towers, layer upon layer, so the air can circulate evenly. For months, usually 3 to 6, the soap remains still, slowly releasing moisture and hardening day by day. This period decides everything. When cured properly, the bars are dry, solid, and long-lasting, able to endure for years without spoiling. But rush the process, and the soap turns soft, fragile, and quick to wear away. That's why this stage is seen as the final discipline, where each bar of soap completes its transformation before entering the market. So next time you cook with olive oil, savor a pickled olive, or wash with that smooth green bar, remember the extraordinary journey behind it. A story of how people turn bitterness into a timeless treasure. The sweepers also feature adjustable height settings, enabling them to adapt seamlessly to any terrain, from smooth, level ground to fields with grass or scattered rocks, ensuring that not a single walnut is left behind. After the sweepers have lined the walnuts into perfect rows, modern harvesters take over, swiftly collecting them into storage bins with remarkable efficiency. These harvesters use a front-mounted sweeper to guide walnuts onto a conveyor belt system built for speed and safety. As the machine glides down the rows, the belt lined with grooves and soft padding carries each walnut securely, ensuring the shells remain perfectly intact. Rather than relying on suction, the system uses a gentle lifting and continuous movement mechanism that carries the walnuts smoothly from the orchard floor to the storage bins at the back. At the end of the conveyor, the walnuts are poured directly into large bins hitched to trailers or harvesters, ready to be transported to processing facilities before beginning their journey to consumers worldwide. With the orchards cleared and the bins filled to the brim, the journey of walnuts now shifts from the fields to the factory, where the real transformation begins. The factory process begins with preliminary cleaning, where branches, leaves, and stones are carefully removed, leaving only the freshly harvested walnuts. They then pass through dehusking machines that strip away the green outer layer, preparing the nuts for storage in specialized warehouses, kept in perfect condition for the next stages of processing. The first step involves placing the walnuts into large water tanks, where advanced cleaning systems come into play. These systems include high-powered rotating brushes and strong pressure jets that work continuously. The brushes effectively scrub away dirt, soil, and other debris clinging to the walnut shells, while the high-pressure jets ensure every crevice of the walnuts is thoroughly cleaned. After washing, the walnuts move into large industrial dryers, where temperature and humidity are carefully regulated. Over several hours, the process removes excess moisture from the shells, prevents mold, and extends shelf life. Just as important, it preserves the kernel's natural sweetness, texture, and aroma, ensuring the walnuts remain as fresh and flavorful as the day they were harvested. After drying, thousands of tons of walnuts are stored in vast warehouses, carefully preserved and awaiting the next stage of processing. Around 40% are packed directly into large bags, ready to be shipped as whole walnuts, perfect for tossing into salads or enjoyed as a wholesome snack. The rest move on to further processing, where they are meticulously selected and transformed into value-added products, such as walnut candies, silky walnut milk, and gourmet specialties. Once the walnuts are perfectly dried and preserved, they move on to the next critical stage, cracking open the hard shells to reveal the precious kernels inside. These machines operate with high precision, using carefully calibrated braking mechanisms to apply just the right amount of force. This careful balance is crucial because excessive force could break the kernels, affecting their quality and value. After the shells are removed, the walnut kernels go through an automated sorting system to eliminate any leftover shell fragments. Vibrating sieves or powerful air blowers ensure that all debris is thoroughly removed. Next, the walnut kernels are carefully inspected using laser scanners, which can process thousands of nuts per minute. These scanners detect and remove kernels with cracks, uneven coloring, or tiny impurities that may still be present. Thanks to laser technology, only walnuts that meet the highest quality standards proceed to the packaging stage. Once the walnut kernels meet quality standards, they are sent to the packaging area. Here, the kernels are carefully weighed and sealed into airtight bags or containers to maintain freshness and ensure food safety. Some products are specially packaged for export or for use in the food industry, such as baking, oil production, or premium culinary dishes.